Spooky, 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 whatever, fuck it. I'm Scared, a pixelated nightmare. It's a game brought to us by a man named Zanotti. Released as a free game in October of 2012, it was successful enough to garner an extended Steam release. Mr. Zanotti said he wished to make a game that stuck with players because it worked to their imagination. Well, did he succeed? Let's find out. Come on. The game opens and you are warned that this game is going to try to deceive you. You are also told that the game needs to create a folder in order to work properly, which is not a good start. When I booted the game, I was like, but when this part came up, I was all, okay, so it created a folder for us, whatever. Drops us into a tutorial right away, and, well, it's pixelated, alright. Just look at this game. It's well lit, it's got cute animation, it's relatively colorful. Oh, what, we're gonna go pick a flower? I'm scared. More like, I'm not scared. And then the game begins. Alright, here we go. We're dropped in a room, and the first thing I notice is how the draw distance in this game works. It's, quite short. The darkness of the area outside your field of view is aggressive. That, along with how smooth the motion is, tag team to completely throw you off. Whether by happy accident or by design, this makes the player feel tiny, and the room feel a bit bigger than it should. This adds a great bit of tension, even if it's only subconscious. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Say Something Nice's, sort of, science, bullshit corner. Welcome, welcome, thank you, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between being creeped out and wanting to shit your pants. See, there are different ways to elicit fear from someone. I remember when I was just a little guy, and a passenger in a car, when a fight broke out between two idiots who were road raging in front of us. Suddenly out of nowhere, two plainclothes police came with their guns drawn, and for a very, very brief moment, I was scared. See, what happened was, my brain had recognized a lethal weapon, perceived an imminent threat, and sent signals to the rest of my body to prepare to make survival decisions. All this happened in the split second before my cognitive brain took over, and recognized that the situation was well in hand, that there was no actual danger toward me. It was an automatic reaction to a perceived imminent threat. To be creeped out is a bit different. Something is creepy when your brain doesn't know how to process the information it's receiving about something. In other words, something just isn't quite right, and your brain doesn't know if that means there's a threat. The draw distance effect in this game is a great example of this. Your brain is not used to a room so big that you can't perceive light on the far wall. It makes you feel completely tiny, and the room impossibly big. Your brain sees this as unnatural, but it sees no imminent threat. It's not sure what to make of this room, so it puts you on guard, just in case. That extra tension is what leads to a feeling of creepiness. A small detail like the room being huge isn't going to make your skin crawl per se, but it does help send a tense atmosphere that could be a far creepier sum than its parts. And another detail that will set you on edge is learning that you need a heart to open a door. Oh, hold on. Oh, shit. I forgot my heart. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe. Wait. Oh, hey, that'll work. Hey, Jim, let me talk to you for a sec. We get our Tin Man on. We're looking for a heart and walking down our gray cement road. Most of these doors are locked. We find an unlocked door that leads to this room here, where there's a couple of bookshelves and a nice little peephole. Another unlocked door brings us face to face with your pal and mine, Whiteface. Look how jolly he looks. Look how happy he is. Look, he's gone. Now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, where is he? Where'd he go? Now, I don't want to spoil everything for you, but I can tell you that he's right behind you. You will eventually find a key that opens this door to, well, I don't know what it is, but just listen to it. And there, lying on the floor, is a pulsating heart. You crouch to pick it up, but something's not right. You are presented with a fucking blue screen. The text tells you to check your files in case the game is trying to deceive you. Now, I recently blue screened my laptop trying to get a game to run, and I knew it was likely going to happen, yet it still made my heart flutter for 1 second. So this part of the game was a different type of horror. It is here that I have some bad news though. If you have a Mac that is running iOS, well, I'm afraid you just can't run this game. I believe there's an imperfect iOS port of the original free game floating around somewhere on the internet, but this extended version is Windows only. The added shock of seeing your computer blue screen would be lessened if you were running a different OS and you were like, what the fuck is that? There's now a new text file in the folder the game created. It says there's a way to turn an entity into data, that it's impossible to tell it apart from regular computer files, and that it is watching you. It is Whiteface. No. Let's play tag? No thanks. No blood tag for me. In fact, let's remember to keep our hands to ourselves, shall we? Oh, well that's good. Oh, well that's good. What the actual fuck is happening? You know, when I picked my marbles back up from the floor after this part first happened, I thought to myself, oh, it's just a pre-recorded video to give the illusion that it had opened up YouTube. But then I realized that I was signed in, and that the queue was my recommendations, and I completely lost it. It's such a simple act, but it makes it feel like the game has access to everything, that it really is in control. And taking the control away from the player is the best thing a horror game can do. If you haven't gathered by now, IMSCARED is a meta-horror game, which means that it acknowledges that it's a game. Rather than create a fictional world and pretend that it exists, it knocks down the fourth wall. By doing this, it makes the player directly implicit in the events of the game. Rather than target your avatar, it targets you, the player, directly. It claims that Whiteface is real, that it's an entity that's made out of data, and that this game is how it's interacting with you. It turns your computer against you, and tries to make you feel like Whiteface is watching you, both inside and out of the game. See, this is why video games are the ultimate medium. They have the ability to shatter any distance that someone might have with a story, by making the players themselves the central figure. Movies and books try very hard to make characters relatable, so you feel like they represent you in the story, but video games can allow you to represent yourself directly. IMSCARED certainly does that successfully, and Mr. Zanotti succeeded in making a game that forces you to use your imagination, and a game that turns it against you. Style isn't the only benefit of the fourth wall breaking. Just take this puzzle for example. This gate here is locked, with no apparent key or anything. As always, it's a good idea to check the IMSCARED folder for clues. You'll find a file here named lock. In order to unlock the gate in the game, you have to delete this file. And voila, the gate is unlocked. There are numerous puzzles with similarly odd solutions throughout the game. I fear I've already said too much, because this is the type of game that you need to play with as little information going into it as possible. It's easily one of my favorite games that I've played this year, but it's not perfect. There's no way to bounce between different chapters or easily restart the game. Some of the puzzles are so absurdly obscure, and death usually results in the game crashing, that it can get tiresome having to constantly reboot the game because you're not sure what you're supposed to do. In that way though, the game succeeded in what it wanted to do, mess with you the player, and it's one of the more refreshing horror games that I've played in a long time. I recommend that you buy the full version, and as always, links in the description below. IMSCARED is frighteningly nice. Thank you for joining me, and remember, as always,